Right, so I reviewed the Archon in the last video I put up, and now we're going to look at something that is a considerable leap up in quality and sadly in price, and that is a Schmidt & Bender T96 polar scope. Now Schmidt & Bender have been making scopes for forever, it feels like, and their scopes generally seem to be all pretty much share a sort of same sort of ethos with them. They're not exactly over the top with frills, bells, whistles and all the rest of it, but what they concentrate on is superb optics, excellent mechanics, and just scopes that really do the job well without being shouty about it. So the Polar is the highest light transmission scope on the market currently. These have been out a while, but they're still the highest, and the T96 is transmission 96, so they've got above 96% light transmission. What that boils down to for the shooter is the fact that the early morning and evening performance of this scope is superb. The optical clarity is absolutely breathtaking at dawn and dusk. Now, it's probably not sold as an air gunning scope per se, but I like this type of scope for a couple of reasons. Firstly, I hunt on a couple of paddocks, a couple of stables, and on a couple of golf courses. So during the winter I mainly hunt at night, so I'm using thermals, but during the summer months and sort of spring and later autumn, I'm out very early in the morning and very late at night. The reason for this is because obviously people go to the stables to let their horses out, turn them out, feed them and whatnot first thing in the morning before they go to work. So stables get busy early doors. So you've got to be there really early to avoid any disturbance. And likewise the golf course, you always get those who like to have a game of golf just as it's sort of cracking daylight. So you've got to get there pretty much in the dark really and start shooting just literally as dawn is breaking. So you need a scope that's got excellent low light capabilities and a really good functional illuminated ret, or even better still, just an illuminated center dot, which is what I prefer. Now this scope has all of that on board. Light transmission is absolutely breathtaking. It has an illuminated ret here, but it isn't an illuminated ret, it's an illuminated center dot. And the thing with these high-end scopes is when they say an illuminated center dot, they do literally mean a tiny but very bright dot in the center. My Swarovski, my Leica, and this Schmidt & Bender all have excellent bright but tiny central dot illumination, which is fantastic early morning and late evening. Different rheostat settings on it, obviously. Hasn't got an on-off between them, so it's, you click it on, and then to turn it off you have to turn it all the way back down, dial it off. Fantastic. 34mm tube on it, and like all Schmidts, it's got this really nice diopter setting. Again, loads on there, plenty of room to get even the worst eyes focused in on the ret. Zoom, really nice. This is a 3:12, and again, perfect for me. I hate high mag for hunting. The lower the mag, the better, so far as I'm concerned, for air gunning. And I'll tell you why. Because really low mags, you've got a huge field of view, so whatever you're looking for, you will find really quickly. And the thing to remember with air gunning is you're looking at getting fairly close to your quarry. So because you're fairly close to it, or you should be fairly close to it, you don't need high mag, but you might need that wide field of view so you can pick it up really quick. Because even though you think you're being really quiet and sneaky and managing to stalk right in and get within 30 odd yards, 9 times out of 10 your quarry may not be spooked, but you can be pretty sure that they know you're there. So the slightest bit of movement or messing about or anything like that, and they're gone straight off. So I like really low mag because you don't need high mag, and it does away with scope wobble. But the other thing is, really low mag means that parallax doesn't come into it. At very, very low magnifications, parallax is virtually non-existent. And that's just an optical design fact. So the lower the mag, the less parallax will come into play. So with this, you can just set it, if you're only doing it on 3, you can set it on virtually, it parallaxes out from 30 to infinity meters. But you can set it on virtually anything, and if you're on the really low mag, the parallax will make virtually no difference. Everything will still be in focus, and you'll be able to take your shot. And the reason that's handy is that you're not having to sort of stop, aim on it, and then twiddle about with your parallax and faff about with zooming in and all that lot. And all that movement is doing is signalling to whatever you're trying to shoot that you're there and it's going to be gone. And that's one of the reasons I also like the Steyr rifles, the semi-autos, because once you've cocked it, you've got 10 shots. You don't have to move and recock it. You don't have to pull that lever back. And all that movement signals danger to prey. Probably more than being able to see you, which is why rabbits adopt, and hares in particular, adopt a squatting strategy to escape their predators. So you can see a squatting rabbit on flat grass, but frequently predators won't take them out because it's not moving. It's only when it moves that it catches their attention. As long as it's kept really still, they tend to ignore it. They don't necessarily pick it up. So it's that movement that gives the game away rather than necessarily being seen. So really, these scopes are great for hunting because you set it on 3 times mag, all you need. Parallax you don't have to fiddle with because you're on 3 times mag, so you still get a nice crisp clear image, and the parallax won't come into the targeting, and you can be quick on your target and bang, take your shot. Perfect, my kind of hunting scope. It's got a sort of semi-tactical type turret, but it's got this little throw lever here that locks off, and it locks it super firm. Nice and tactile clicks again, and it's the usual 1 centimetre at 100 metres. Just a beautiful, beautiful scope. The optics in these are spectacularly good. They really are, really, really good. This has got a very basic sort of ret in it. They're called a German D7, and it's a bit like the sort of old-fashioned sort of sniper scope type ret in it, but with that bright illuminated centre dot, and it's only the centre dot that's illuminated on it as well. But it's the low light level of this thing it's just unbelievable. It really is spectacularly good at low light. Crystal clear optics, no chromatic aberration, superb bright image, really, really, really good. Again, shoots the box and all that lot perfectly, goes back to 0 every time. No matter what you've done to it, you can ramp it right up, ramp it right back down again. Always goes back to 0. Brilliant. The only thing to watch with it is if you're putting it on a bolt action rifle, because the illumination sticks out the side, it can snag on a left-handed rifle bolt. So if you're shooting with left-handed rifle, left-handed bolt, just be careful because it can snag on the bolt. Obviously it doesn't matter on an airgun. So again, not cheap. I bought this from Optics Warehouse, and what I generally do if I want one of these really nice scopes, I sit on my hands and wait a bit, and eventually their X-Demo stuff comes up at a cracking good saving. So this is an X-Demo scope, absolutely mint, nothing wrong with it whatsoever. I mean, look at that box. And And that's the other thing with these Schmidts as well that have improved. They used to come in a fairly crummy box, but now they come in these really nice ones. So you get like an outer sleeve and then this inner box. Dead good quality. So if you're taking it off in the winter while you're putting your thermal or your night shooting gear on and you're locking it away in your cabinet, you know, you've got a really good quality box to put it in. Comes with your guarantee, your instructions and all the rest of it. Doesn't come with sunshade, that's extra, but really doesn't need it. Fantastic. Get these in a couple of different variants of the polars, so you can get them with illumination, without illumination, with parallax, without parallax. So like I said, this is 30 meters to infinity, but you can get them without parallax. Different mag range. I think the highest it runs up to is 15 times mag. I think it's 5 to 15. This is 3 to 12. So, you know, there are a couple of variants and there's a couple of different rets available as well. So a pretty extensive range for the polars, really. But the glass is honestly spectacular. Low light capabilities of this thing are unbelievable. Really, really, really good. I've shot it when it's like proper dark, just bright moonlight, full moon, and it functions with that. All right, you can't see the ret, you can only see the illuminated dot, but it's all you need. It's perfect because that dot is so pinpoint and so bright and precise. It's fantastic. So yeah, really nice scope. Typical Schmidt and Bender. Really well made. Fairly plain. You know, it's not particularly eye-catching, all whistles and all dancing scope, but it just does the job. Brilliant hunting scope, as far as I'm concerned. Not perhaps a range scope, as 12 times mag isn't particularly good, but for hunting, brilliant.